Faith whispers yes, fear whispers no, and the future stands quietly in the middle, leaving us wondering what's truly possible. For the past 5 years, my faith has been tested in ways I never expected. Since COVID, I've wrestled with the question, did God plan all of this, or is it simply the work of humanity? And when I tell you the voices were loud, baby, I mean loud. Life has shown me that putting complete trust in people will always leave room for disappointment. Fear is a fight we all face internally, even when we do our best to hide it from the world. Fear is rejection. Fear is of failure. Fear to start over. Fear of the unknown. All of it can find its way to cripple you. If you let it, though. In this episode, we're diving deep into the tug-of-war between faith, fear, and reality, and how to keep believing when the future feels uncertain. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl, Shelly Nicole, with the Remedy Podcast. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had an eventful weekend, nonetheless. I took my godson to Six Flags. Even though, yes, I am in the middle of this shutdown. It is now, what day is this? Day, I think, 1920? Yeah, 1920 of the government shutdown. Shout out to all the federal workers. We are holding our heads up, trying to think positive, but very much so fed the fuck up. We really are fed the fuck up. Nonetheless, I did promise my godson last year that I was going to take him to Six Flags for Fright Fest. He'd never been. Didn't happen. The month came and gone. Before I knew it, boom, it was Halloween and it was over. And then I told him that I will take him this year. So this was obviously prior to the shutdown happening. So I was like, you know what? Still, I'm going to commit myself to make sure I go and get these discounted tickets from the government website that I have, or that they gave to the federal workers, and use that discount to get him and his cousin to go and enjoy our Halloween, especially because I wasn't going to a Halloween party this year, even though I wanted to. But I had told my friend that it was going to be slow, that wasn't going to happen. So nonetheless, that's what I did Saturday. And then Sunday, I took a trip to DC. Yes, I took a trip to DC, and it was a very heartfelt, sad, but happy transition that my boyfriend is in. He has got a new job, and we're going to work everything out. Everything is going to be okay. And, you know, we're just going to go with the flow, and we're going to make things work, and we're going to do what we have to do. But I'm so proud of him, and I'm so happy that he got the chance to actually get this opportunity. So that happened. Yes, I cried. Shut up. I did the cry. I did the ugly cry. He tried not to cry. I think he did after I left, but whatever. Nonetheless, it was a very eventful weekend, and I made it back home today. So today's episode, and it's crazy how today's episode falls right under like what I just said about the government shutdown and everything that's been going on and everything that's been happening right now. So today's episode is faith, fear, and our future, balancing faith, fear, and the hope around our future. So oddly enough, like I was saying, it's crazy how this is the episode for this week because of everything that is going on with the government being shut down. And I really want to say, like, since COVID, I want to say that things have been really in a transition change, pushing people to become or sit in their purpose. I want to say, at least for a lot of my friends, at least for a lot of people that I just know in general, not necessarily friends, that feel that they are being pushed into a different world, into a different light, into their own purpose that they feel that God is moving them into, that they are finding that things are not happening the way that they want it to happen because it's just the alignment is not there. And it's funny how times will change. Things will change so drastic to make you go into this, what's the word? Into this, I guess, new chapter, new vault of your life, new way of thinking, I guess, changing everything about your life because you see that you're just uncomfortable. You're not happy anymore. You're not satisfied. You feel like you're not living out your purpose. You feel like you're not living out what it is you were called to do. And there's more to what it is you're supposed to be doing. And I feel that this happens to everybody. It doesn't necessarily mean it happens to one specific group other than the other. But I do feel that in your 30s, you start to feel like, while the 20s, we enjoyed the parties, we enjoyed going out, we enjoyed, spending money and getting money, and it was a whole enjoying life, which you still do. I'm not saying you stop enjoying life after your 20s, I'm saying that, but your responsibilities change and life starts to change, and you start to look at your choices and what you've given energy to and what you didn't give energy to, what you need to give energy to. And I feel like that comes to a lot of women who probably don't feel satisfied in this decade of their life, who feel like, we already talked about the pressure of getting married, the pressure of marriage, and the pressure of wanting kids and the whole bit, and then the whole PCOS and everything else that we have spoken about in the last episodes. If you guys didn't hear those episodes, go ahead and check those out. But all of that happening, this episode is basically based off of changing what you thought was supposed to happen in your career and for your future, and holding on to your faith and letting go of fear. So first, we're going to talk about faith. And baby, let me tell you, my faith has been tested, shaken, stirred, fried, flipped upside down, left and right, when I tell you. And it is rather interesting how you will have to rely on your faith solely when things are not going the way you saw it going. And granted, we all have free will. Granted, a lot of us made the choices that we've made, thinking that these decisions would, bring us, I guess, joy or happiness or whatever the case may have been. Thinking that our, and it doesn't necessarily have to be one specific thing. I'm talking like careers. I'm talking about relationship. I'm talking about a move that you may have done, like moving across country, moving to another state, moving just to another borough, moving, from one career to another career, whatever it is. We all have and made our own choices in life, and some are our own will, by our own will, and some are just from circumstances and where we are at. But nonetheless, holding on to your faith, seeing that everything that is happening right now, it's not the end. This is not the last of the story. This is not where your story ends. This is not where God said, this is who you are to become and to stay as, and I want you to be more. I want you to be better. I want you to be this child who I have created you to be and live in your purpose. Now, finding what your purpose is a whole nother episode. But I do feel like in your 30s, especially for us women, I can't really speak to men, but I do feel like for women, when we are in this new decade, you're more focused on your purpose. You're more focused on what it is that God has placed you on this earth to do, rather than just fucking around and doing nonsense. You want stability, and not just in a relationship setting. You want stability when it comes to every last part of your life. And career and money and finances is actually one that a lot of us want to have and want to feel comfortable in. I mean, anybody should want that, no matter who you are, no matter, your background. Financial stability and going into a career that is actually suitable to you, something that you like, something that you actually love to wake up and say, this is something that I like to do or I love to do. That is one thing that, I think for women in our 30s, that we definitely prioritize, as well as everything else. But just to dive into that, right? What is faith? What does it look like? Faith, to me at least, is hoping in and holding on to what you don't see. Having and being positive, I should say, being positive in what you don't see, being positive in the unknown, and hoping for the best, knowing that the best is what you deserve and knowing that it's coming to you. Everyone sees faith differently, but that's how I kind of see it. Now, the other question that you might ask yourself is, or I guess ask me, well, how do you continue to have faith when life is falling apart? And honestly, I'm fighting it just like the next person. Like, I'm literally holding on and fighting between my faith and my reality. I know how it can be difficult to see God in what is happening, like everything that's happening today. I know it's difficult to see, like, where is God? Where is his hand in everything that's happening? I'm talking war. I'm talking about the shutdown. I'm talking about so much, all the politics, really, just every little there's just so much that I can't really just choose from the healthcare argument, from the housing argument, from the cost of living, from the education system. It's like the tariffs. It's, where is God's hand when all of this is falling apart? But this is a man, a entity, a spirit, a being, however you see God. This is someone who I feel never fails and always has a purpose and always has a reason for all of this to happen. When I was actually thinking about this episode, I was like, okay, so what? Like, God, how? Like, and I be having conversations with God like this, like as if I'm talking to y'all. It's the same way I have conversations with God, and he just answers me when he feels like answering me. But I have these exact conversations, like, so God, what is this? Like, what is going on with this? Because I didn't vote for this, and I know majority of the country didn't vote for this. So what's going on here? And I kind of had this thought that maybe all of this had to happen to bring people together, but to also show people for who they are. And I said that in my other, I said this when this had happened before, when he was voted in office last time, when everything was going haywire. Not as bad as it is now, but, for the most part. That this election just showed the true colors of everyone. Really just showed who everyone is and how a lot of people think and what people will do in order to save themselves rather than help humanity. That's how I see it. A lot of evil, a lot of people who just, it's about me. I don't care about the little people. I don't care about the hardworking class. I don't care about this. I don't care. Everything is about greed and money. And don't get me wrong, we all want to be financially secure. Like I said before, we all want to be financially stable, but it's a difference between being financially stable and being grotesquely greedy. And you see, or at least you are seeing that now when it comes to so many things being cut from the middle and poor class, from the people who are really struggling out here to the people who are wealthy, who are getting a break. I don't know what break you need, but whatever. And how just inflation and everything going up, from the housing, from the cars to, no one can really live. No one can possibly live. Nonetheless, it is rather difficult, I would say, during times like this, when you're trying to see how you can hold on to your faith. And my mom was sending me verses when this whole shutdown started, and prior to the shutdown started, because I was starting to feel like, okay, my purpose is bigger than where I'm at right now. And while I am grateful, I will forever say that I am grateful for the job that I have now, because like I said, there are people who are struggling to get jobs that can't get jobs. I will forever be grateful for the opportunity to be able to clock in. But I do feel like my purpose, it's served its purpose. I have served my purpose where I'm at right now. And it's time for me to go and to elevate myself. And that, I feel like, is true growth. That, I feel like, is what everyone should want or strive to do, or to feel like, okay, there should be more. Not to say that you have to leave your career or leave where it is you're at, but especially if you love it. But if you feel like this, where you're at right now, is not where you're supposed to be forever, there is nothing wrong with you actually saying, hey, I think I deserve to have more, or really serve and live into my purpose, and whatever that may be. So my mom was actually sending me verses, and I was reading, I still read my Bible. I still read, I'm still getting into the Bible. I've said it before, but I don't know if anybody, well, if you heard the other episodes, you've heard me say it, where I'm a baby in Christ. I'm not like a full-fledged woman in Christ and I'm holier than thou. Absolutely not. That is not me. I am nowhere near that. But I am learning and I'm changing and I'm developing, which I think is great. And I feel like as I'm reading the Bible and as I'm seeing certain verses and I'm learning about what the word is and what God was saying in each and every chapter or each and every book of the Bible, my mom sent me verses that I can continue to hold on to, and that you can also hold on to as well. If you read Proverbs 3, 5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You can also have Jeremiah 29:11. I actually have that Bible, the numbers, as a necklace that I got from the Bible Museum when I went a few months ago to DC. I got that, and I think I got, what else did I get? I don't remember the other chain that I got, but I have that chain, Jeremiah 29:11. You can also read Romans 1:17, and then also Romans 8:28. And there are a bunch, there are literally a bunch of verses that you can read where you can focus on your faith and to strengthen your faith and to constantly tell yourself that you just trust in the Lord, that God has a plan, that, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Just continuing to say that this is not the end. There's something behind this. There's a reason why this is happening. We don't know why. We are frustrated. We're irritated. We're angry as hell. But there is a reason. And for the woman in our 30s, I think it's great, and I think it's a must that we become more spiritually connected to God in our own ways, because it's going to help shape where you want your life to go. And it's going to help shape and remove the things and the people that no longer serve you when you put your mind towards what the Bible is saying and towards your intentions of how you want to grow and where you want to see your life. But holding on to the fact that it may not be here right now, but it will happen eventually in every aspect: the career, the marriage, the children, the white picket fence house, if that's what you want, or the nice condo, or the nice high rise, whatever. It will all happen, but it's all going to happen in due time. It's not going to happen when we want it to. And the last part about faith is that you have to understand you're going to be tested. You are going to be tested when everything feels like it's falling apart. That is your test. When you feel like you're not getting any yeses from all the applications that you're putting in for an apartment, for a job, for whatever the case may be, that's you being tested, because you're qualified, you have everything that it takes to either pay for that apartment, you have everything that it takes to do that job, you have everything that it takes to make that move. But for whatever reason, it's just not happening the way you thought it was supposed to happen or how it was supposed to happen. you have your degree, you have, straight A's, or your credit score is this and that, the whole bit, and it's still not happening for you. That's when you really get to see that your faith in God's plan is really being tested when it comes to relationships. I've said this to my friends. I've been a witness to it myself, that old relationships, old ex-boyfriends are going to show up. Or ex-girlfriends. I mean, whatever floats your boat. They're going to show up. They're going to come back. They're going to try to see if they can find their way to you again. It's like they come out of nowhere. Like, you're chilling, you're enjoying yourself, you're healing, you're in the gym, you're drinking your water, you're minding your damn business, and then here they come out of nowhere asking questions. Can we go on dates? How have you been? I missed you. Hey, big head. The whole shit starts coming out of nowhere. And it's like, hold on. Why? And I'm telling you, like, this has happened to me, where right before my boyfriend said anything to me, I was being tested with all of my past relationships, coming back to see if I was going to take the bait and go right back to what was so poisonous, so toxic, to see if I was really over it, to see if I was really done. And not even just exes, but people who were just like my exes, but they were new. I think I've said this in a previous episode before, and I think it's also coming up in another episode, but nonetheless, where I say you date the same person, just in a different body, with a different name, probably from a different location. And it's not uncommon. We all do it. And then that's when everybody says, oh, all these girls or all these guys. No, we have a silent type, and we don't realize that we have a silent type because we keep going back to the same well. The well's color is just different. It's not a different well. It's the same one, just with a different color and a different name. Those people kept coming around. They kept trying to find their way to me, and I'm just like, bro, I want no pieces. Like, leave me alone. Like, no, I'm good. No, I'm great. You go and live your life. I'll go do me. And that's when God was like, okay. I believe at least God was like, okay, so you are done. Okay, good. Great. And then who you're supposed to have finds their way to you. It's like you opening that door. God is not going to allow He's not going to allow his son to come and meet you where you're still damaged and holding on to your past, and the person he has for you is moving on and healing and letting go and changing and becoming the person that he is supposed to be, while you're holding on to the shit from back then. Make it make sense. Why would you want to date somebody like that keeps holding on to what was? Or would you want to date somebody who is healed, going to therapy, in their process of healing, changing their ways? Right. You would want to date somebody who is changing their ways. I knew it. I know. So the next one is fear. Now, we all face fear. We all have it. The fear of everything. It can be the fear of the unknown. It can be the fear of, the possibilities, the outcomes, the negativity, the overthinking. It's so much that plagues us, and we all deal with it. There are people who started businesses that had the fear of, is this going to actually work? Is this not going to work? Did I make the right decision? You have fear of people who start new careers. Did I make the right career choice? Am I going to sit here and waste my time? You have people who feared the partner that they chose. Is this who I'm supposed to be with? Is this not the person who I'm supposed to be with? They asked me to marry them. Should I marry them? I don't know. Am I making a mistake? Should I move across country? Should I move to this different state? That's me having to pack up all my things and leave. We all face fear. We all go into our brains and start thinking, and sometimes thinking the worst. And the worst never, ever happens. It may be a little bit of a hiccup, but the scenario that is in our heads when I tell you, it never, if at all, happens. And women, we have like that the best thing ever to let us know when we're in danger or if something's not right is our intuition. Our intuition is like our saving grace whenever we're not sure of something. And I would definitely say tune into your intuition. When you feel it in your gut that something is not right, 9 times out of 10, it's not right. And you need to listen to that voice that's telling you, okay, something's off. So even for myself, I mean, I have a vulnerable moment. I have changed my career, changed what I wanted to do 1,000,001 times. Like literally. I went from wanting to be a dentist from like that was in senior year of high school to then wanting to I wanted to be a model actress. Then I went from that to then wanting to be a business owner. Then I went from that to wanting to hospitality, hotel management. Then I wanted to go, then somehow I ended up in criminal justice, sought that through, got my degrees in it, 2 degrees in it. And then I had like this whole plan set out of exactly where my life was going to go, how I was going to take these criminal justice degrees that I got and where it was going to take me. And God said, yeah, right. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. You thought, but no. I'm sorry, sweetheart. You're going to do something criminal justice wise, but it's not going to be exactly what you planned for it to be. And it's not to say that I didn't accelerate myself. It's not to say that I didn't try. I didn't apply myself. I did. But it just did not happen at all for me. My path or the way I thought my life would go went a completely different route. And while it wasn't terrible, it wasn't what I thought it would be, but it wasn't terrible. Nonetheless, now, like I said earlier in the episode, that I feel like my purpose where I'm at right now has served. It has been served and it has been completed. And I think it's time for me to go elsewhere. And with that will now mean change, will now mean having to go into a whole different field, will now mean me having to technically start all the way over. And I sometimes even think back into just dipping into the things that I also love to do that I never really gave myself the full opportunity to see out. Like lashing. I do eyelashes, for those of you who don't know. Yes, I am certified. I am a lash tech technically, but I stopped doing it out of fear that everyone already had their lash techs already. They weren't going to come to me. I just started. Everyone's already good in the business. I'm late to the show. No one's going to want, to book me. That was my first thought. My second thought was, this shit hurts the hell out of my back. Like, if you are a lash tech or you go to your lash tech, they'll probably tell you, like, your back is on fire right after you do a few sets. And it's very tedious. It's a very tedious thing. You have to make sure you're doing it correctly, or you will put some glue in somebody's eye, which I almost have done a few times. I glued somebody's eye shut once. Terrible. This was in my beginning stages. But I didn't see that through. Also with the hair thing, I jumped into being a hairstylist. It wasn't even something that I planned on doing. This was something that I literally did because I was at my house, my old house, my whole childhood house on Grace Ave, and people were literally asking me time and time again Shell, can you come braid my hair? And of course, me being like 16, like, I'm not going to pass up on no money. Like, are you dumb? Like, of course, I'm going to say yes. So I was doing like little $20, $30 here and there. Then I had some family members that had asked me to braid their hair, to do crochet. And I literally was doing just like hair here and there. And even taking care of my own hair. It was just like a thing that I started doing. So nonetheless, I kind of dived into it. And even now, like, promoting that La Caron, which is my hair business that I'm trying to develop, and basically just for natural hairstyles, some tape-ins, quick weaves, that I can do as well, and some braids if y'all need it. but really maintaining your natural hair. I feel like, Black women, we need to do that. That's a little little promo, but anyway, back to what I was saying. The fear of just, not knowing if I'm doing the right thing, not knowing if I'm making the right decisions. We all come across it. We all come across the inevitable. We all come across the what ifs, and the challenges that we face when it comes to fear, or feeding into it. It's a lot. It's a lot of them. Self-doubt. We come through and see self-doubt a lot. Like I said, even with myself, not knowing if anybody would want to come to me when I'm doing the lashes, if somebody would want me to do their hair, because everybody has their own hairstylist now. I thought of everything possible when it comes to it. And we all face that. This may not be, what I should be doing. Or am I putting out too much money into something that won't give me any residuals back? Am I doing something just simply for the money? Am I doing it because I want to do it? That too. The uncertainty and the loss of control. That's another one that we face when it comes to fear. When it's something you don't know, you tend to either shut it out because you have no control over it, or spiral out because it's out of your control of how it goes, which we all tend to do. We all want control over our life. We all want control of how our life is going to go and the narrative that we have put together in our minds. And when it doesn't pan out the way that we thought, we panic. When everything is going the wrong way, we panic. We get angry. You start to cry. You start asking why. You shut yourself out. You get depressed. The uncertainty is very, very, what's the word? It really does take a toll on you. But you also have to understand you can only be in control of what you can be in control of. You can't control everything. And if certain things don't happen, they were meant not to happen right now, or just not at all. Because if it did happen, maybe it would have hurt you. You also have to see it in that case as well. The other things that we face when it comes to fear is also the emotional discomfort. Emotionally, you feel like you're losing it. You're very aggy. You're very antsy. You have anxiety. You have these like little mental breakdowns that you're going through that you're not understanding. Like, why am I having this feeling of like I'm losing my shit? Like, what is this? You're emotionally, you're not there. You're not connected. Knowing that you're breaking old cycles, that's scary. Especially for those of us who are trying to break old cycles within our own families, trying to be a generational curse breaker. That in itself is scary because you have your family members, you have society, you have the norm of what you're used to telling you that you're supposed to do something a certain way. And then when you're going about it differently, when you're changing the narrative, you're changing the story, it's fearful. It's scary. Like, maybe I should just stay with what has been working. But has it been working, or has it been causing toxicity within your family or within yourself? Right? Fear of change in general. That's another one that we all face. Change is, Janae Aiko said it the best. Change is inevitable. I'm not going to act like I really know how to sing, because y'all know I don't know how to put it down like that. But it is. Change is inevitable. It's going to happen. If your life continues to stay the same, I would feel like it's boring. If everything was to be the way that it is, you're going to feel bored. You're going to feel stuck. You're going to feel like, what else is there? This cannot be it. Accepting the vulnerability, which I find to be the number one thing that I guess I kind of also struggle with, but I feel like a lot of us do struggle with. Accept the vulnerability. You have to admit that you're scared. so that it's just basically easier to cope with. You have to admit that you don't know what you're doing. You have to admit that I'm trying this for the first time, so I don't know how this is going to go. But we're still going to go. We're going to go at it, and we're going to see it. And if God says no, then okay, well, then I guess we're going to just find something else to do. And being okay with that as well. That if it doesn't happen, you're all right. You're fine. But accepting the fact that fear is just a human trait. We all go through it. Men, women, we all go through it. Some people show it differently than others. Some shut it out. Some just push through. Some get aggravated. Some shut down. Everybody does and faces fear completely different. And lastly, our future. For our future, I honestly, you don't know. You don't know. You have no clue what's going to happen. None of us do. I would always even ask the question, like, if you had a magic ball, or if you were put into like this time warp machine, or if you met someone that can tell you exactly what your life would look like in 5 years, in 10 years, would you want to know? Because wonder if it's something bad. At first, I used to say yes. At first, I used to be like, yeah, of course I want to know what my future would look like. Like, that way I know from now what I should and should not do. Now, obviously, that's like the one answer you would give, or everybody would give. But do you really want to know what would happen? Because wonder if it isn't something good. Wonder if it's something bad. Now, here you are now in the present. Now you're panicking because you know in the next 5 years this is about to happen. But you can also change it as, I can change the narrative because now that I know this is going to happen. But wonder if you can't change it. Wonder if it's inevitable and this is exactly what's going to happen to you. You see what I'm saying? We don't know what's going to happen in our future. We can plan for it. We can manifest it. We can say all the things that we want to say. We could do all the work. And it's not to say that you do all the work that nothing is going to happen or nothing will come from it. No, something will come from it. But it may not be exactly what you thought would come from it. Like I said about, my own future. If 18-year-old me would see where I'm at right now, she would be like, bro, what? Like, this is not what we planned. Like, this is not it at all. What is this? So I am interested, or I cannot wait, hopefully, by the grace of God, I cannot wait to see what my life will look like at 44. And looking back now at 34 and like, damn, I went through all of that and this is where I'm at now. You can plan, like I said, you can plan for your future. You can make the steps to take it there. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. You should always manifest and dream big, manifest big, talk to God big about like everything that you want to do. Make it happen. Put the work in to get there. But also accept the fact that if it does not happen the way you thought it would, it's okay. And for women in our 30s, it is the accepting part that I feel like when you hit 30, 31, 32, and possibly like right before 35, I think those first 5 years, you really look and be like, okay, it's a fight between your old life and what you thought your life would look like and where your life is now, and accepting it. But also knowing that you have the ability and the power to change it. Because if you're not happy, you can change it. If you're not okay with where you are right now, you can change it. And not letting society tell you you're too late. Not letting the older family members or the other people who have all their shit together, not letting them tell you you're late. Because you're not. You're not late. You're just starting at your own pace. Everyone changes at their own pace. Everyone does something that benefits them when it's ready and it's time for them. Like, you may have been ready to have all of this, right? All this, the money, the finances, the husband, the kids, the everything at 25. It may have been great for you. It may have worked out for you, but that does not make me at 34 less than because I'm not married or I don't have kids yet. Or I thought I would be in a certain career that I would have been in already. And now here I am changing my whole story. I always go back to I think you guys have probably seen it where it showed like all the famous billionaires now, millionaires and billionaires. How Vera Wang I think she didn't design her dress until she was in her first dress until she was in her 40s. Oprah didn't become famous until like later on in life. I think who's the next one? I think the owner of YouTube, or not YouTube, of Amazon. He started in, I think, his garage, and so many other people who are billionaires now, millionaires now, didn't start until later on in life because they had to go through the struggle or they had to figure it out. They changed their mind. Even when I was in college, I remember having classes with people who were teachers, who were chefs, who had a whole bunch of different careers. And they said, yeah, I want to change my career into criminal justice. I want to go into law. I want to be a lawyer. I'm a chef, but now I want to be a lawyer. It's the same thing for us. You can be a police officer, but now you want to change your mind and you want to be an actress. Or a content creator. I mean, that's a thing too now, being a content creator. Being an influencer and actually giving out influence. Don't be an influencer if you're not really influential. Like, please be for real. Like, just have some type of influence on people. Don't just sit here and do nothing. But, I mean, those would be the people that end up getting famous anyway, which is crazy. Nonetheless, our future is, yes, in our hands, but sometimes it will be pushed and dictated in a whole completely different way. It will be transformed and shifted in ways that we just don't understand. And we might be delayed as well. So there's that. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys are enjoying the series, the Her 30 Journey. And I have a bunch of other episodes lined up right after the series is done, so don't worry about it. We are on go time every week, new episode. And if I don't, there'll be ones that you probably missed. And I will be posting those as well. But we are still on go mode. We're getting this series knocked out. And thank you so much for everybody who's actually been reposting, who has been liking, who has been commenting. I see it. I love it. Thank you so much. And continue to do so. You can continue to share it. Continue to let people know. If you guys want to be on an episode, please do not be shy. If you are shy to be on camera, okay, we don't have to do on camera. We could just do record. We could do audio. I am here to help you get it off your chest. I'm here to have this conversation. So however it works for you, whether it's on camera or just over the audio, we could do either one, baby. It's up to you. Okay. But I thank you guys for listening. I thank you guys for following and continuing to push this podcast. It means a lot. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. To my federal workers, keep your heads up. We are going to be okay. We are going to be fine. Keeping the faith, holding on to our purpose, holding on to what God has in store for us. It's all going to work out somehow, some way. God is going to work this all out for us. So I hope you guys enjoy your week. Whatever happened into today, leave it into today. Don't bring that shit into tomorrow. I'll see y'all.